child is you. Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're looking at moments and incidents that ruined TV shows forever. They don't have to have led to their cancellation, but they do have to have caused or precipitated a major decline in quality or triggered viewer backlash.
For example, if the unemployed are hungry, why don't they eat their own bodies? All that good meat going to waste, it makes me mad.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 30. Cleggie's Exit, Last of the Summer Wine. You'd be forgiven for thinking that Last of the Summer Wine wrapped up at some point in the 90s, but it kept plodding along until 2010.
No matter, it shall be a great horn.
What are you going to do with it?
Do with it? I'm going to blow it.
Its most popular lineup was actually the second one, with Compo and Clegg joined by Foggy, but the actors kept aging out of the roles. Despite this, it still stayed popular because of Roy Clark's consistent writing, much as the BBC seemed desperate to cancel it for decades.
So how long's this Stella been like that?
Oh, I try not to notice, ladies.
But the last trio of Hobbo, Alvin and Entwistle just didn't strike a chord, finally giving the Beeb its excuse to axe the show without a final special. The death knell was Peter Sallis's departure in 2007. It was never the same without him.
Hey, I was in the war. I've done my bit.
Number 29. The Candyman, Doctor Who. This classic serial was intended to be a parody of Thatcherism, but we bet you don't remember it for its political commentary.
Impolite guests get to fill the back of my candy hat!
No, you'll instead remember the giant sadistic robot, the Candyman, a Doctor Who monster so similar to Bertie Bassett the Licorice Man that Bassett's complained to the BBC. The Candyman is Helen A's executioner, drowning people in hot liquid fondant and cackling while he does.
I'm disappointed in you, Doctor. I expected you to choose your friends more carefully. Still, she won't be a friend much longer, will she?
And many have cited it as an example of Doctor Who deteriorating in quality under John Nathan Turner's stewardship. It was, of course, cancelled for 15 years after the end of the following series.
I'm finding this rather tiresome. Heads or tails, Doctor?
Number 28. Waterman Goes, New Tricks.
Yeah, but what about this accomplice? The book catcher on the ground. At the very least, he would have witnessed the death.
What is it about Dennis Waterman and leaving a show when it's at its height? Audiences already got a taste of this habit when he left Minder after the first 7 series back in the 80s, leaving it plodding along with a more inconsistent cast for 4 more. But then he signed on to New Tricks, the BBC's popular procedural about retired coppers helping out with cold cases.
Nicking library books is hardly a criminal conspiracy, is it? I mean, I can't see middle-class professional people killing each other over it.
Then, partway through the 12th series, Waterman left again, leaving Larry Lamb to pick up the slack as Ted Case. The show couldn't survive without him, which is hardly surprising considering he even sang the theme song.
Was there anything in Richard's behaviour that might lead you to believe that he would take his own life?
No, not at all.
Number 27. Kuchansky, Red Dwarf.
Rimmer,
Yes, Mum.
have sex with someone and that's an order.
Yes, Mum. Right away, Mum.
Thankfully, Red Dwarf returned from the dead with Back to Earth, followed by 3 successful series and a comedy special over on Dave. But why has the reboot been so successful? Because it ignores most of the events of the 6th and 7th series completely. Following Chris Barry's departure, Lister's long-term object of lust Christine Kuchansky arrived to mix things up.
At some point, I'll want to have children. It's a slightly pervy thing to ask, especially seeing as we've only just met. But perhaps you could...
Yeah?
This, combined with the plots going in a more dramatic direction, with the crew now back on the fully populated Red Dwarf and wearing matching yellow outfits, turned off its devoted fan base. Aside from a brief cameo in Back to Earth Part 3, Kuchansky doesn't feature in the Dave reboot, with the original hologram Rimmer coming back instead.
I need to know why.
Do you indeed?
Yes.
Well, you're not good enough for him, that's all.
Number 26. Money Sink, Primeval. ITV's Doctor Who killer had a lot of ups and downs, not in the least the time that it almost bankrupted the network. Despite remaining popular with audiences, with plenty of people being fans of both shows and not buying into any rivalry, it was outrageously expensive for a British terrestrial channel, with heaps of special effects necessary to make its time-travelling dinosaurs come to life. It was cancelled after Series 3, only for UK TV, the home of Dave, to come to the rescue and fund 2 more. But it just never recovered from that first swinging cancellation from ITV. It got a short-lived spin-off over in Canada, but nobody wanted to watch that either. Number 25, Dirty Den's return, EastEnders.
This, my sweet, is a letter from my solicitor telling you that your husband has filed a petition for divorce.
Yes, of course, EastEnders is still going strong, but it had an exodus of viewers when Dirty Den returned in the noughties. Following his ambiguous death decades prior, Leslie Grantham was eventually persuaded to return to the role, and he terrorised Albert Square once again, until a backstage sex scandal led to Grantham's final departure.
Happy Christmas, eh?
Like many dodgy soap storylines, this one is better forgotten, emblematic of a desperate attempt to bring back viewers. They did pull in an audience of 14 million when Tracy Ann Oberman beat him to death, but it was still an overall unsuccessful attempt to steal Corrie's crown.
Big, grand, dramatic exit with the suitcase, and then somehow we're back together a few months later.
No, you have betrayed me once too often.
Number 24, The Christmas Trilogy, Only Fools and Horses.
Strike? I thought Damien had made strikes illegal.
Yes, the police were shooting them as I left.
Did Only Fools and Horses ever recapture the highs of the Christmas trilogy? Well, no, plainly not. Sometimes a show is a victim of its own success, and that's never been clearer than here. Airing throughout Christmas 1996, the trilogy began high with heroes and villains, and ended with the Trotters finally becoming millionaires after selling a watch at Sotheby's.
That's nice. Rooney.
No, that is Rodney.
It was the perfect ending, and it really should have been the ending, rather than bringing it back 5 years later, taking away their cash and putting them back in Peckham. Sometimes less is more. Even Rock and Chips couldn't save the franchise.
Well, what are we going to do now then, eh?
I don't know, Derek. We are sat in the middle of Peckham at 10:30 dressed up as Batman and Robin.
Number 23, The Killer Virus, Brookside.
I think it was rats myself, like the bionic plague. I reckon it was rats eating away at that body under Irene's patio.
Perhaps Brookside died along with Trevor Jordache, because it never again reached the lofty heights of Eddie finding his body under the patio 2 years after his murder. It tried, but failed, over and over, with one low point being the deadly virus that swept through the close in 1995.
It's a nasty, unpredictable, very contagious little bugger.
Not satisfied to do the usual soap story of bringing on a serial killer when it needed to get rid of some characters, Channel 4 unleashed a terrifying plague, with 3 characters' lives claimed by the end.
Just leave the milk there, will you, mate? Bit of a problem on the close.
Brookside kept going, but this, plus the incest plot, led to people changing channels to watch a more grounded soap opera. Even Radio Times stopped writing about it.
There's helicopters and all sorts out there, do you know that? It's the army keeping us in. We're all part of some experiments or something, do you know?
Number 22, Deadly Stunt, The Late Breakfast Show.
A bit of a coward. He's coming up to the ramp now. He's going very, very fast indeed. Very fast.
It was meant to be the BBC's blockbuster Saturday evening programme in the 80s, fronted by Noel Edmonds, hot off the success of Swap Shop but before Noel's House Party. However, things didn't work out for a tragic reason. The Late Breakfast Show became known for its stunts, but health and safety seemed to have been an afterthought.
Well, obviously we'll keep you posted as to exactly what happened with that attempt.
There had already been numerous injuries by the time Michael Lush volunteered to do a bungee jump in 1986, with people trying to sound the alarm that the BBC wasn't taking safety seriously. Unfortunately, it was too late. Lush's carabiner detached, and he fell to his death. The show was taken off air, and cancelled.
Because of the tragic accident involving Michael Lush while preparing for tonight's edition of the Late Late Breakfast Show, the BBC has decided to cancel this and all further editions of the programme.
Number 21. How did Sherlock survive? Sherlock.
It's a trick. Just a magic trick.
The gap between series 2 and 3 of Sherlock felt like an age for fans of the show, with everybody waiting to see how Stephen Moffat would explain Sherlock's miraculous survival after his fall from the roof of St. Bart's.
No, it's obvious. That's how he did it. It's obvious. Derren Brown.
However, Moffat never did explain, and instead spent much of the Series 3 premiere entertaining and then immediately dispelling many of the popular fan theories.
There was a body, it was him. It's definitely him. Molly Hooper laid him out.
No, she's lying. It was Jim Moriarty's body with a mask on.
A mask?
This was probably all meant in jest, but people couldn't help but take it as a direct mockery of the fan base, the very people who were keeping it alive. The show drastically went downhill after that, with some thinking that Series 4 had a secret extra episode that would redeem it, which it didn't, of course.
2 years and the theories keep getting more stupid. How many more you got for me today?
Number 20. Overkill. The Bill. A lot of long-time fans cite this as the moment the writing was on the wall for The Bill, which was once one of ITV's most popular shows. Amid struggling ratings and unpopular storylines, they decided to revamp it, starting with changing the iconic theme. Fans were not happy with The Bill making this huge change, as the original opener, Overkill, disappeared. The money would have been better spent sorting out the bad writing, rather than just trying to make it a bit darker. We wonder what song they'll use if the much-rumoured reboot ever rears its head, though that seems unlikely. Number 19. Villanelle's death. Killing Eve.
How do we know what the 12 is? We may just have to kill them all.
Though the show was already set to end with the Series 4 finale, its legacy was annihilated by this baffling decision. Killing Eve was notable for changing its showrunner every series, something that ultimately led to it feeling disjointed and going downhill with each new outing.
It takes over me. Yes, I'm
But then, they only went and unceremoniously killed off Villanelle in the last episode, right after she'd finally, though equally unceremoniously, killed the 12. The show ends with Eve bereft over her death, as she's taken out by a sniper from a nearby bridge in the final moments. The author of the books, in which neither of them dies, hated the ending too. Number 18. H. Line of Duty.
You'll recall this is the last communication we intercepted. And this is the last exchange between Jo Davidson and the user she believed was Patrick Fairbank.
In a way, Dot's classic urgent exit required scene ruined Line of Duty because it could never be topped. But of course we're talking about the final reveal of H as DCI Ian Buckles, an otherwise useless side character.
Come off it, no way.
This can't be right.
It was hard to believe that a man this incompetent had been pulling the strings of the OCG this entire time, but apparently that was the case. He was the fourth man.
If this is right, he's been under our noses from the very beginning.
I mean, for God's sake, what does this make us look like?
Fans were dismayed, with many still hoping that Ted Hastings was going to be the city's bent copper. That would have been a memorable plot twist, rather than Line of Duty ruining itself with this reveal.
Ian Buckles, you do not have to say anything, but it may harm your defence if you do not mention and question something you later rely on in court.
Number 17. Morning Wood. Dick and Dom in the bungalow.
And just do anything apart from don't be rudy.
See BBC's most controversial, anarchic show, Dick and Dom ruled the weekends for years, until its critics finally succeeded in getting it taken off air. It's believed that a big reason why it was eventually done away with was because Dom wore a t-shirt with the words Morning Wood during a recording.
It's a ferret with a cold! He hasn't got a cold! The ferret's got a cold! Look at it! Oh, no, you've got to let everyone over. Did he sorry, everyone. Sorry about that.
He said it was merely a reference to his name and the fact that the show was on in the mornings, but this explanation didn't wash with any adults who knew what the phrase really meant.
We spent all night making this arena, didn't we, mate? But came unstuck. We only got 2 hours sleep.
This was the straw that broke the camel's back. It lasted for 2 more years, but Ofcom had a clear vendetta from that point on. Number 16. Johnny's death. 2 pints of lager and a packet of crisps.
Look, is Johnny with you? Can you put him on, please? Why not? That's not true.
In its first few series, 2 Pints captured how a generation of British youths were feeling. Layabouts in their 20s going down the pub and falling into each other's arms over and over again. But this is definitely a case of a show lasting way too long.
Jenna, what's wrong? Johnny died.
Instead of ending with Ralph Little's departure, Johnny was killed off-screen after being eaten by a shark, leaving the other characters to grapple with his death.
She's hysterical, Gaz. Do you see? He's dead! He's dead and it's...
We then had to spend years dealing with a love triangle between Donna, Gary and Janet as the cast continued to drop like flies. Even its creator, Susan Nixon, left before the BBC finally cancelled it. Number 15. Piers Morgan quits. Good Morning Britain. Let's not dwell on why he quit so suddenly on that fateful day, but instead on what the effect on ITV's flagship breakfast show has been.
OK, I'm done with this.
No.
Sorry, no. Sorry.
Do you know what? That's pathetic.
You can trash me, mate, but not my own
No.
See you later.
I'm being...
Sorry, can't do this.
This is absolutely diabolical behaviour.
GMB has ultimately struggled to pull in the ratings it had when Piers Morgan was at the helm, even by pairing Susanna Reid with some other controversial media figures, including Jeremy Kyle and Richard Madeley, the latter being a walking gaffe machine.
This is a 2-hour trash-a-thon of our royal family, of the monarchy, of everything the Queen has worked so hard for.
Good Morning Britain is now just another ITV daytime show that's currently struggling to recreate the magic of its most popular duo. But at least Susanna is still there, though we wonder if she now regrets letting ITV poach her from the Beeb.
But now Piers has decided to leave the programme. Some of you may cheer and others will boo.
Number 14. Grace's death. Skins.
You're not handling the Frankie.
Oh, leave me alone, OK? She's gone.
The third generation of Skins had 2 tough acts to follow. As the Stonehams finally departed the show for good, we got a roster of brand new characters, and the viewing public didn't warm to most of them. However, Grace Blood was certainly the best of the bad bunch.
The last thing I wanted to do is upset anyone.
How valiant of you.
So when they decided to kill her off at the beginning of Series 6, people were livid. Skins never shied away from serious subject matter, but seeing the remaining characters grapple with Grace's absence made it clear that they absolutely shouldn't have killed her. And the show got even more unpopular from that point on. There was no 4th generation.
I love you quite a bit, Rick.
Number 13. Ollie Murs makes a mistake. The X Factor.
Okay, Rita, over to who are you sending home and why?
Was the X Factor always a fix? Some people certainly believe so, and they often point to this gaffe from Ollie Murs as proof.
We've just heard Monica and Anton sing, and now we'll ask each judge who they want to send home tonight.
While hosting, he said that Monica Michael had been eliminated, only for a swift intervention from Caroline Flack, who said that they were actually going to a deadlock.
Unfortunately, Monica, you are going home, I'm afraid. So, Anton...
No, Ollie, she's not, no.
Oh, she's not going to vote,
no,
sorry.
We're going to deadlock. Judges,
okay, sorry, I got that wrong. Sorry, my fault. Sorry. Apologise for that, sorry, Monica.
But when the results of the deadlock came in, Monica was booted anyway. This led to more accusations that the show's result had already been determined ahead of time, and that the audience votes just didn't matter. It was just one scandal of many in the life of the X Factor. But it did finally end just a few years later. Number 12. Jet's injury. Gladiators.
They're going to be facing Amazon and Jet.
In 1995, catastrophe struck during a recording of Gladiators. This wasn't the first near-fatal injury on the show, and also wasn't the last, but it did change the way people felt about it.
This is step aerobics Gladiator style. Jet intercepts Julie and sends her packing.
During a challenge, Jet fell from the pyramid and, in her own words, heard a crack. For a few moments it looked like she may have broken her spine.
Julie having another go, and Jet's got the measure of her.
Thankfully this wasn't the case, but the damage to her ligaments was still extremely serious and required months of rehab.
Amazon again takes the plunge. Oh, Jet with a spectacular crash dive.
Udale ended up leaving the show the following year, and while it continued up to the millennium, it was never the same without her. Number 11. Freddie Flintoff's crash, Top Gear.
You know, I still live it every day. I'm still in the car every night when I go to bed. And it's so vivid.
We've never seen this television moment, and that's probably for the best. After suffering one horrific crash while filming Top Gear, cricketer Freddie Flintoff had another close call in 2022.
He was showing me how to get the car going sideways. And the wheel came up at the front.
In the eventual documentary about his life, Flintoff explained that he was driving an old-fashioned open-top race car when it rolled over, and he had to go face down into the track to avert breaking his neck.
I looked at the ground, and I knew if I get hit on the side and I break my neck, or I get on a tempo, I'm dead. My best chance is to go face down.
To avoid being outright sued, the BBC paid Flintoff a multi-million-pound settlement to cover the loss of income while he recovered. The star became a recluse to hide his facial injuries in the immediate aftermath, and Top Gear has been shelved indefinitely. Number 10. The Timeless Child, Doctor Who.
Now, having seen her adopted child regenerate her body, Tecteun, a scientist and explorer, had a new landscape to explore.
It's rare for a show to get killed by bad writing more than once, but Doctor Who is one of the lucky few to have got that privilege. Russell T Davies' second era has hardly changed fortunes for the programme, with Disney Plus withdrawing its funding in 2025 over bad viewership.
I didn't know any of this. Did you know any of this?
But the decline began with the Chibnall era before, when he made this absolutely baffling addition to the lore. According to him, the Doctor was the origin of Time Lord regeneration, with dozens, or maybe even hundreds, of incarnations before the first Doctor.
The rest, as they say, is history.
It was the biggest lore overhaul since the Time War, which was retconned by Moffat anyway, and the fan goodwill hasn't yet returned.
You are the timeless child. No, I'm not.
Number 9. Lee and Lucy get together, not going out.
What are you doing here all alone?
Is it wrong for a woman to be sat on her own at the bar?
At the bar? With those shoulder pads, I thought you were the bar.
Yes, Not Going Out is still on TV, having reinvented itself over and over again. But it's also hard to argue that it didn't become an entirely different programme after Lee and Lucy finally got together.
I don't want you to go to Naples. I want you to stay here with me. Because I love you.
The entire momentum of Series 2 to 7 was the will they, won't they. After the Series 8 time skip, they fall into the rhythm of the classic sitcom couple who behave as if they hate each other, which is a little difficult to believe when the audience saw their entire relationship from the moment they met.
Do you know how vomit-making you two look? Gazing into each other's eyes like a pair of lovesick puppies. Will you please put us all out of our misery and just become a couple?
They've since lost their 3 kids too, with another time skip, shipping them all off to uni, and yet again purging the original cast.
Will you marry me?
Number 8. Scylla quitting, blind date.
Hello and welcome to this very special live show.
Believe it or not, the final series of Blind Date wasn't actually meant to be its final one at all. Rumours had circulated for a while prior to this that Cilla Black was going to be leaving, with Trisha Goddard supposedly up to replace her at one point, but Cilla denied them.
This is going to be my very, very last series of Blind Date.
And then, during the first live broadcast of a Blind Date episode, she announced her departure, without telling the crew.
Yes, but we've got to make it the biggest and the bettest yet. We're going to do that, aren't we? Yeah!
Though it had just been restructured to go in this new live direction, this was the final nail in the coffin for a show that had, in most people's eyes, already overstayed its welcome. It had a few short-lived revivals, but this was the end of its golden age. Number 7. Punchgate. Celebrity Big Brother.
My mind ran away with me. I am a sensitive person, only my family and friends can vouch for that.
It was definitely already on its way out by this point, and many people had been hoping for Big Brother's cancellation from the moment the first episode aired. But this was the last straw, for a while.
In the moment, it felt worse than it was. I can't prove a feeling. I can't show you a feeling.
The issue was that contestant Roxanne Pallett accused fellow housemate Ryan Thomas of punching her, apparently forgetting that they were all on camera 24/7. The public rallied around Thomas, who eventually won, and Pallett's career is still in tatters.
I massively apologise to not just Ryan, to his family, his friends, his fans, every single person that watched that.
CBB has since been resurrected by ITV as a last-ditch effort to save its failing ratings, but we all know it's only a matter of time before there's another TV-shattering scandal. We already got a taste with the Mickey Rourke drama. Number 6. Nathan Leaves. Misfits. There were, of course, 3 more series of Misfits without Nathan, after Robert Sheehan left in between series 2 and 3.
He's dead.
I heard him. I think he was knocking one out.
That does sound like him.
But many people quit watching entirely after he was gone. They felt that Rudy, played by Joel Gilgun, was a poor replacement, though the two are very different characters.
You should see the looks on your faces. Classic!
Aaron Rion, Antonia Thomas and Lauren Socher left after Series 3, with Nathan Stewart Jarrett departing halfway through Series 4. By the 5th and final series, none of the original cast remained, and Misfits couldn't carry on.
Were you having a wank in there?
Yeah, so off I was. Man can't enjoy a quick shuffle in his own coffin. It's not like I was expecting visitors.
Though it did reach a natural and satisfying conclusion for those who stuck with it for all those years. Number 5. Ab Fab at 20, Absolutely Fabulous. It's been revived multiple times after its initial 3-series run in the 1990s, but it seems to get worse every time it's brought back from the dead.
Oh! What do you do? Melt one down for glue, trade it in for a goat?
You are so ignorant.
Yeah, I'm proud of it.
The 2012 20th anniversary specials weren't well received, to say the least. Though they had plenty of laughs for Patsy and Eddie's most die-hard fans, they weren't a patch on the original episodes.
Eddie? Ed, darling. Did you get my tenor lady pants, darling?
The 2012 Olympic special featured a plot around Patsy no longer being able to control her own bladder and deciding she wanted to leave the partying lifestyle behind, which was perhaps a sign that the show should have ended long ago, when it was at its best.
Oh my God, how can you have missed it? Even coming from the airport, it's everywhere.
Oh, darling, it's been everywhere for 5 bloody years, hasn't it?
Number 4. Everybody Leaves. Spitting Image. An iconic show conceived at the height of Thatcherite Britain, Spitting Image was the UK's satirist-in-chief throughout the 1980s.
Today, yet another hated ex-leader of a discredited regime has been summoned to a show trial.
Get your working class hands off of me!
However, Margaret Thatcher was such a unique figure to mock, and the 80s was such a politically fraught decade, that following her dramatic ousting in 1990, Spitting Image didn't quite know what to do with itself, and it never recovered.
What is your defence? Speak now, O evil ex-ruler.
I do not do any speaking
For less than 5,000 quid, all right?
It continued for most of the 90s, but the viewers began to leave, and soon enough, so did the writers. Eventually, so many people quit that ITV had no choice but to cancel it.
Government isn't a charity. The unemployed must learn to eat their own 2 feet.
It was revived in 2020 on BritBox, but in 2023, that version was cancelled as well. Number 3. It Was All a Dream. Crossroads.
Angela, wake up.
Oh, right. Sorry, love.
This popular soap originally ran for over 20 years and was briefly brought back in 2001. But to this day, Crossroads has one of the most infamous endings in the entire history of television. Crossroads went to great lengths to give proper endings to its cast of characters, despite being cancelled for a second time.
That was the weirdest thing. It was like I drifted off to this very strange place.
You are?
However, it's finally revealed that the revived series was, in fact, a dream in the head of Angel Sampson, who's actually called Angela and works in a supermarket.
Maybe some other time.
Maybe. Mr. Sampson.
Bye-bye, Angel.
Even more meta, Angela is a huge fan of Crossroads, which is why she was daydreaming about it. Who knew broccoli could send somebody into such a reverie? Number 2. The Schofield scandal this morning.
In a statement, Mr. Schofield said he had lied about the relationship to ITV as well as his agents, lawyers and family.
For years, This Morning has been a titan of British daytime television. Core entertainment for housewives, retirees and people off sick from work. Nothing could stop ITV's award-winning magazine show.
The relationship, he says, was unwise but not illegal. It is now over.
Except, of course, for a high-profile scandal. It turned out that Phillip Schofield had had an affair with a much younger male runner, ultimately leading to his resignation. And then Holly Willoughby quit too, after a man was arrested for plotting to kidnap her.
Plum, a security guard, was arrested after detailing his kidnap plot to an undercover cop in the United States. The officer believed Plum posed an imminent threat to Miss Willoughby.
Ben Shepherd and Kat Deely took over, but with ITV's daytime roster facing swinging budget cuts since then, it's clear that This Morning is on life support. Is anybody watching for Ben and Kat? Number 1. Death of a Guest. The Jeremy Kyle Show.
Gemma's your ex?
Definitely.
Which is hardly surprising because you slept with her sister.
I don't know, Jeremy.
It shouldn't have taken a tragedy like this to end the Jeremy Kyle Show, but unfortunately, it did. In 2019, news broke that a former guest, Steve Diamond, had taken his own life after failing a lie detector test. Lie detectors are already inadmissible as evidence in criminal cases because of their extremely poor accuracy, so relying on them as an excuse to accuse vulnerable people of being cheaters was already deeply unethical.
I really did go on the Jeremy Kyle Show to prove to you I never cheated on you, but it all went wrong. Love you forever, your Steve.
In the aftermath, the show was immediately taken off the air, with ITV preferring to pretend it never existed. Kyle, meanwhile, has been attempting to revive his broadcasting career, but has barely acknowledged Diamond, or what happened, instead complaining about cancel culture.
Yeah, I absolutely am aware of that. That's why.
Why has it taken you 15 years to deal with it then?
He's so condescending. He's so disrespectful.
Let us know in the comments which struggling TV shows we forgot to include.